Welcome back to the Compound Podcast. This is episode 300, episode 300. Dakota, can you believe we've done 300 of these?
No, it's honestly crazy. I was thinking about the other day that we're almost at like 6 years of doing it, and then like 300 episodes is wild.
It's absolutely wild. We're going to have a big 300 celebration brought to you by Parse. We have some fan questions. We're doing a mailbag today for the 300. Parse rum. My favorite rum, your favorite rum, our favorite rum, Parse rum. We get a discount code. We said this last week. If you missed it last week, parserum.com. Discount code compound gets you 10% off the 8-year or the 12-year rum. Okay, this is a premium rum.
$10 off.
That's what I meant. $10. More than 10%. $10. Okay. It's premium rum. Most Americans have had bad experiences with rum. Captain Morgan, Bacardi. No. This is the best rum. It is premium. It is won awards, Tom. Best spirit in the world. It's won the award. Okay, it's won the gold.
I just like all rum. You know, I don't know if we need the shots in rum. Like I like a good rum and Coke as it is, but Parsley rum's great. If you're a bourbon drinker, you're gonna like it too. But I think, you know what? We don't gotta take shots at rum. That's kind of a ricochet shot at all of the rum. I'm good with regular rum.
We said this last week. We fought for the code compound. Please, parserum.com, go use it. We need you to go use the code compound, parserum.com. Let us know what you think. We appreciate the people that have already bought some. Go get some more. Give it to a family member. Also last week, we talked about how we, back with John Boy, big time, back with John Boy. We have our own YouTube channel, the Compound Pod YouTube channel. Okay, don't be confused. There's another Compound Podcast that might be a little bit big on YouTube. Okay, so scroll past them, get to us. Compound Podcast on YouTube. You know how we used to say 300 episodes ago, Dakota, like, subscribe, resubscribe? Well,
Yes.
that's back. We need like, subscribe, resubscribe again.
Unsubscribe, resubscribe, like, resubscribe, unsubscribe, like.
Make sure that
Then
you
resubscribe.
resubscribe.
I think you ended it with unsubscribe.
Yeah,
so
make
you
sure
can
the
resubscribe.
last one is resubscribe. Make sure you are subscribed at the end.
Bingo. You got it.
Go check out the YouTube channel. We're back. And should we roll right into questions?
so.
We got so many. We got so many to get through. We got to.
Well, somebody said in the questions, I don't think they made it in, but I want to shout them out. They said we should bring back Who Says No. And I mean, who says no to a 300th mailbag episode, you know? Over 150 submissions. I want to give a shout out to a few people that didn't make the cut, but had funny questions that I couldn't get in. Shout out to Ian from Indianapolis, who was Team Chapstick. He wears it at all times, just like you, Ian. Shout out to Steve from Charlottesville, who's on the SWAT team. That's sick. Shout out to Kara from Normal, Illinois, whose nephew is a Yankee prospect. I didn't know if we could air the question because she was kind of putting a lot of personal info about him out there, and I didn't know if he wanted it out there. But, you know, shout out to everyone who listened. Shout out, as I said, over 150 questions. I spent a lot of my afternoon going through this today, and it was a joy. So much fun to do. Really hard to narrow it down. And we're going to have another mailbag episode that we're going to bank and we're going to release at some point during the season. So if you didn't get in this one, there's a good chance you maybe end up in the other one. A lot of great questions. All right, let's get into the questions. Question from Ian.
I just want you guys to know I'm playing hurt. Just rolled over my toe with the wheelie chair that I'm sitting in. So I'm playing hurt for episode 300.
I mean, that's just
really hurt.
That's insane.
Really hurt. Almost in tears.
That's why you got to wear like slippers. You got to have some house shoes, you know?
That's a good point. That's a good point. Playing hurt. Go ahead, Tom.
All right. Question number one. You'll see why it is the leadoff question.
Hey guys, this is Carter from Madison, Wisconsin. I'm calling with a question for you guys. Well, I'll start by addressing Ian and saying, Ian, I think you have the best walk-up songs, I should say, of anyone on the Cubs. And I'm wondering if this year you have any new walk-up songs that you're adding to the rotation. And additionally, for Tom and Dakota, I'm wondering if you guys were to be in the major leagues right now, what would your walk-up songs be currently? And just one final thing, Ian, I know you've been working on your speed this offseason. I want to see you competing with Nico and PCA for the stolen base crown on the Cubs this year. I know you can do it. If Juan Soto can lead the National League in stolen bases last year, I know that you can lead the Cubs in stolen bases this year. Let's see it. I know you can do it. You've got it in you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you taking my call, and have a great day.
What a fluff saying you can lead the team in stolen bags.
I'm stealing tomorrow.
Listen.
Guaranteed.
We're a fluff pod, but I think I'm going to announce it here and now. You're not going to lead the Chicago Cubs in stolen
You're back
bags.
in PCA? You're going to back in
You got
PCA?
PCA, you got Nico, like, You're gonna have to get like 30 plus bags.
I'm running.
I hope. That'd be great. I would love to be proven wrong. It will shock me if you lead the Cubs in stolen bases. You are a runner now. What was the part he asked me?
So what would be your walk up? I mean, for you, it would be an entrance song.
Oh, okay. Ian, you go first. You got a new one? Or are you staying with
Well, first of all, that was unbelievable fluff. The appreciation for my current walkout songs.
was it Kill the Lights last year?
No, I think that's Zach. Zach killed the lights.
I was at the game. What was yours last year?
Say My Name by XD Spectrum. Say My Name. That was one of them. I've used for a while now. Matches by Cash Cash. Big on that one. All right, I'm trying one in spring training. Okay, it's called Jamaican. Bam Bam.
Okay.
Bam Bam.
When you say trying, is it like how it makes you feel? Like, are you more you want the crowd to get the pop, or do you want to feel it?
No, I think it will get a crowd pop. You know, in spring training, it's so inconsistent. Sometimes it's 1 second, sometimes it's no second. Like if they hit it right at the 30-second mark, like right away they hit it, I think it could get a crowd pop. So I'm experimenting this spring with it, and then I'm gonna see if I bring it into the game. So we'll see.
I had a couple over the years. I think if I had one now, I'd go back to like my OG, which was Animals by Nickelback. I don't know why. I loved it. I thought it was electric. It's tough for relievers because like unless you're a closer in like the big leagues now where it's become like a thing, like no one cares what's playing because it's just like a quick break to go to the bathroom or like go get a snack and it's like a lot of chatter going on. So it doesn't really matter what mine was, but that was my go-to back in the day.
It's tough too as a reliever on the road. Sometimes they'll troll you, they'll give you Baby Shark or something. So it's like you really can't even I mean, you guys aren't really listening to that, right? Like once you're actually like out there, you're not really like, I'm feeling the song now.
Oh, I hear it. When I'm warming up, I could hear it. Oh yeah. I walked out to Ramen and OJ by Joyner Lucas my last year, and that hit. I was like, this is sick. I'm cool. Like I'd be out there warming up and I'd like let one go. I'm like, I'm so swag.
I think starters and relievers have it great because they get like the full like minute and a half.
That is true.
So it depends. It's in the big leagues, I'm sure. In the minors, it was hit or miss if it was even getting played. It's probably similar to spring training for you, of like it's 50-50 if it was ever getting played or if there's like an announcement going on.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah. You got two people with bouncy balls running into each other in the middle of the field.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was hit or miss. But if it does play, yeah, it's nice getting like that good chunk of the song.
Yeah.
Because you get 10 seconds.
My answer's always been the same. Pablo Sanchez's walk-up song from Backyard Baseball. I mean, that's electric. And like, you just got to live up to that. If that's my walk-up song, I better be good. Because otherwise, if you suck and you have that, it's tough. But that would be my answer.
You know what I was messing around with when I was driving to the field this spring was the MVP Baseball 2004 soundtrack.
Ooh.
But it was a pretty deep cut. Like, I don't know if it would have really hit in the stadium.
Which one was it?
There's so many good ones, but Hey Driver.
Okay. I like it.
Go on Spotify, not an ad. Go on Spotify and go look up the MVP Baseball 2004 and MVP Baseball 2005 soundtracks. It will bring back some real nostalgia.
I love that.
I have a playlist on my account that's like best sports video game songs. That has a lot of songs from like MVP Baseball 04, 05, that era. Just
two best sounds.
Some of the best games of all time. All right, next question. Here we go.
Hey guys, my name is Emma from Downers Grove, Illinois. Been listening to the podcast since the compound days. Shout out my friend Madeline for introducing me to this podcast. My question for the 300th episode is 300 Dakota Mekisses versus one gorilla. Also, how to say Dakota Mekis plural? My bonus question is in honor of a very late National Women and Girls in Sports Day. Who is one woman that has supported you in your sports career or a woman that you look up to in the sports industry or in your sports profession? And obviously, all three of you can answer that because you're all in sports. So yeah, really looking forward to hearing your answers, as definitely the gorilla question. Thank you so much for 300 episodes, and looking forward to 300 more.
First and foremost, the gorillas are 300 of me. Like, I gotta think 300 of me could take a gorilla. 300.
That's a small army.
That's a
100%.
small, yeah. And I got a lot of heart. Like,
I mean, that's the
you
thing.
can't
How
put that
many
on
Dakota
stage.
Mekhises are willing to die for the cause, I think is the thing. Because the first like 20 are probably just getting wiped out.
Oh, I was going to say 250 are probably dead, but the last 50 get the job done. Like, we wear them down. We wear down the gorilla. So, yeah, it's probably, I think 300 gets the job done. It's close.
100%.
What do you think the strategy is? What's your strat? If you're the leader of the 300, if you're like on a tower leading them from afar, what's your strategy?
I mean, it's got to go like full blown attack, all 300, right? Or like send like 50 at a time. Cause like, what is it? What is this, Donkey Kong, where they can like spin and throw multiple punches at a time? Like, I think 50 at a time, but 50, you can't even all get in there. Maybe we just go in waves of 10, and we just keep going. And eventually it gets worn out.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to lose some people. Some Dakotas are dying.
Yeah. You gotta go for the knees. You gotta get low man wins.
Oh, we're fighting dirty.
I was thinking the eyes. I was thinking poking him in the eye, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll play real dirty. I'm not worried about that part. But yeah, it'd be a good battle.
And then the second part, I'll give you guys a second to think maybe of a woman in sports you guys worked with. I wanted to shout out, I've worked with a lot of great women in sports, but my general manager in Bellingham, Stephanie Morell, was one of my first mentors, was one of the first people that really believed in me and hired me. She's still working with that team and does a tremendous job. You guys know a minor league GM, how many different things they're doing. And she's just great to work with. I also want to shout out, we're back with John Boy, Taylor Jackson, one of my favorite people over there, head of social media for John Boy, one of my favorite women in sports as well. But I've worked with so many great people in sports, and a lot of them are women. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a list. I don't want to leave anybody out here. Mary Henderson, who was the GM of the Harwich Mariners, still is the GM of the Harwich Mariners. She's unbelievable. Been doing it for so long, finding host families in the community, like the field up, just so many things that go into running team on the Cape and making it feel like a family and taking care of the players. She's an incredible woman. A few nutritionists over the years, Jordan, who was our nutritionist through COVID, like what she dealt with in 2020, getting us food, working with people, like she was unbelievable. Our current nutritionist, Beth, she's a stud. And Joanne on our PR team, she's incredible. And it's not easy to be a woman in sports and be surrounded by men constantly and in the clubhouse. And it's really cool when you have people that contribute to winning in a team and can do that. And so I've been really lucky to have, a bunch throughout my career.
Yeah, I don't think I had any like female GMs throughout all the years. But I think the biggest ones are like the nutritionists, like you said, especially funny quick story. I think it was 2018, maybe. I used to get like headaches all the time. And the nutritionist, I can't think of her name right now, but she told me it was because I was dehydrated all the time. So she would make me drink water and then keep my bottle caps and send her a picture of how many bottle caps I had at the end of the day. And it worked. I literally like didn't get headaches anymore. And I was like, this is genius. Eventually, were there some days I cheated and didn't drink that many bottles and kept old bottle caps? Maybe. She doesn't need to know that. She'll probably never hear this. Hopefully she's a listener, but if she is, I'm sorry. I cheated sometimes, not always. And then like trainers, especially, we've had a lot of female trainers up through like the minors, and then even like in college that, like you said, Ian, like it's not easy to get into the sport, especially like baseball, football, basketball, those kind of sports, like with males. And they've always been there, like helpful, and whatever you need, they got your back. So we've worked with a lot of great people.
Should also quickly shout out Suzanne and Emily from Marquee, who watch all of our episodes before they go up on Marquee. I appreciate them because that's you guys know, not an easy job to watch all of our episodes start to finish every week. So we appreciate them as well.
I think it is easy. I think that's probably the best part of their week. So you're welcome. I'm just kidding. Thank you. I'm kidding.
All right. Next question.
What's up, boys? How you doing? This is Adam, longtime listener of the pod. Congratulations on 300 episodes. Ian, hope you get to celebrate with some tuna tartare. All right, here's my question. Obviously, the Winter Olympics are going on. What I want to know is if each of the three of you had 1 year to train for any Winter Olympic sport, which one do you think you could get the best at in a 1 year period of time? And please don't all say curling. All right, thanks a lot. Go Cubbies, and thanks for a great podcast.
That was going to be my answer, but now I feel like I can't take curling because it seems too easy to take.
I was going to take curling since I'm not the professional athlete here. I feel like that's my only chance is curling. You guys were at least professional athletes. I feel like you could do something else.
But I can't. I've never. I can like skate, but like I've never really done it. I've done it like 4 or 5 times in my life. Like I can stay up, but I can't do that fast. I'm super tall, which doesn't help with a lot of these things either. Like I've never skied or snowboarded.
Was this winter only?
What about like luge?
They said
Could you be good at
winter, yeah.
luge?
They
It was
said
just winter.
It was just winter.
Is luge? Which one's luge? That's the one where you go downhill thing.
Yeah,
I think I'd be decent at that. Body weight.
that's what I'm saying.
Extra-
Once the big
extra
fella gets going, a
acceleration.
lot of momentum.
I'm
On
going
a
to go with
speed.
that. I'm going to go with luge. I think I could learn the tricks of the trade there. But all of these things, all the things in the Winter Olympics outside of like hockey, I would have to learn every single little. I don't know any of the rules for like anything else. So I'd have to learn everything. Hockey,
Ian,
I think
I feel like Ian could be a skier. He's got good balance.
Ian's definitely got the bouginess too of like this
Oh,
guy
yeah.
goes to Aspen, like he's going up to Canada.
He has the tuna tartare before the race. That's how he gets. That's how he gets going.
Exactly.
I have skied before, but they're pretty good. I only have a year. You know what? I wrote down for Summer Olympics handball and archery because I think I could. I think if you gave me a year, I think I could. I think I could get there.
I think handball we'd be special at. Like we'd be very good.
Curling was my one on the winter, but man,
Hey, good job by our listener. He identified immediately that was all going to be our answer, and he was like, he took it away.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of another Winter Olympic activity. I mean, I would love to be good at speed skating. I would love it.
Same.
Short track would be a blast. I don't think in a year I could come close to what they're doing.
I don't think I could come close to any of these, to be fair.
No, absolutely
like not a single one would I be anywhere close to qualifying for.
But here's the thing. I just worked on a video with Roger Sherman about how there are these people call them Olympic tourists, people that basically get qualified for the Olympics through a random country that they have some loose association with. You guys might be able to qualify like for a country in Africa that doesn't have a skiing team. You know what I mean? You could become the best skier in like the Ivory Coast because they don't have any snow there. So
True.
like that's what people do.
Could you imagine if you saw me show up to the Olympic trials for speed skating and just get absolutely blitzed, just lose a race by 4 seconds? It's 2 laps. Like, how did that happen?
I think you could be the new quad god. I could see you doing some figure skating, Ian.
Yeah. Yeah. Do it. And is there any like ribbon tossing in the Winter Olympics? Try that.
Yeah, I don't think any of us would get within a year. I don't think any of us would be even sniffing it.
Nope.
No, probably not. Unless we're all trying to qualify through weird countries. I think that's
True.
the path.
Good question from Adam, though.
All right. Ian's going to like this next question.
The voicemail segment of the Compound Podcast is brought to you by Bruce Bolt. Visit brucebolt.us. It's baseball season. Get your gear now. Use code HAPP at checkout. That's HAPP at checkout for free shipping. Tom, I'm coming for your job.
I love that. BruceBolt.us. BruceBolt.us. Go to BruceBolt.us. 300th episode. This question is brought to you by BruceBolt.us.
That guy's coming for my job.
What's up, Compound Crew? This is James calling from beautiful Middletown, Maryland. And hey, I don't really have a question, but I know that the Compound prides itself on being a fluff pod. So I just wanted to take a minute and fluff you guys. The Compound is something I look forward to every week. I love it. My routine is I cook dinner for my family. I'm drinking Parse, obviously, and I pop in the Compound, listen to you guys. I love it. Ian, you bring such a human element to the pod. And what I mean by that is like regular Joes like me who, you know, you see these professional athletes and you think that they're like these big stars and you're just not really sure what kind of people they're like. You're just a regular dude, man. I just love listening to what you bring to the Compound, the stories that you tell, the insight into the game that you bring. And you know what? If you want to finish your left-handed swing with 2 hands, you finish your left-handed swing with 2 hands, man. It doesn't matter. You're going to rate. You're going to be the guy this year. Do what you do, man. Dakota, I love the humor that you have bringing to the pod. You're like the yin to Ian's yang. I love that you're a Spartan dog. My dad went to state. I grew up a state fan. My daughter's going there in the fall. I can't wait. Tom, you're like the glue guy. You pulled the whole thing together. We were all really sad when Zach left, but you know what? You picked up the slack and then some. And that's not throwing shade at Zach, but even if it is, it doesn't matter. He's not listening anyway. I love you guys.
My
Keep
favorite
doing
part
what
was
you're
him
doing.
chirping Zach
Go
there.
Cubs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
He's not listening anymore.
That was the part that got it in. I was on the fence about putting it in, and then he chirped Zach, and I was like, "That's what put it over the top for me."
Yeah, that was very nice words. It was awesome. That's what we like. We're a fluff pod.
That was great fluff. We needed that.
There's also, I want to combine this with a question from Spencer from the email portion of our mailbag, who said, "Hey, Tom, Dakota, and Ian, happy 300. Since you guys are a fluff pod, I would love if Ian shared a story about how nasty Dakota was when they played together, an electric strikeout, save, or whatever. I just think the Mound of the Man could use some love since he's always fluffing his boys. Thanks for putting on the show each week. I'm always looking forward to Wednesdays. P.S. Dakota, you should bully Ian into sending me some Bruce Bolts for my men's league."
I could try to do that if he'll send me some too. Ian caught me in a bad year though. He got me after my prime in 2019. I started the year well, actually.
You did. It was also Colin Ray was the pitcher of the year in the PCL with like a 4.5. It was a tough year to pitch in the PCL, but Dakota was nasty. He had the upshoot 4 with the changeup, and we faced each other that spring, and I could not advance his fastball forward. I couldn't make it go forward. You were working a walk. You were going to walk in that at bat. Yep, I was going to foul your fastball off until you threw a ball,
which was going to happen. That's how it would have ended, as I would have walked you, and that it's the way it is.
The big fella, I do remember when we were living together in 2020 playing catch with him. A lot of carry on the 4, always trying to work on that slider. Always trying to work on a lot of feel on the slider.
Never had a slider. It always sucked. That's just, that's the fact of the matter. It was never very good.
We'd be throwing on the tennis court, and he would throw one, and he'd be like,
I'd be like, is that even moving? Is that doing anything? No, not really. Okay, cool. The good old days.
Hey guys, congratulations on a milestone numbered podcast. My name's Adam. I live in Stamford, Connecticut. Self-proclaimed biggest Cubs fan in Connecticut, or at least in a 1 mile radius. My question for you guys is, if you could be in a WWE tag team match, which current Cubs player would you pick to be your tag team partner and why? Thanks guys, and enjoy future episodes, and thank you again for letting this Cubs fan who lives completely out of state feel like they're a big part of the fandom.
I feel like there's an obvious answer. I mean, that's the one thing. I have the advantage over you guys because I see these beforehand, but my initial reaction was there was an obvious answer.
Does it have to be current?
He said current, but I think we can open it up to. I think we can open it up to if you have an idea of somebody else.
Well, if it wasn't current, I would take Dylan Maples. He's just a psycho, and he's a brick bleep house. So that would be my choice, but I'll pick a current one. Ian, you go, or you guys go.
My obvious answer is PCA. I mean, the guy's already basically cutting wrestling promos. He's out there targeting other fan bases. He's got the hair. He's got the personality. I'm ready to form a tag team with me and PCA anytime.
But am I going for entertainment, or am I going I want a winner? I want a real fight?
Well, here's the thing. WWE is scripted, so I'm assuming
what? What do you mean? No, what?
I hate to break that news to you if you're just finding that out.
These kids listening, close your ears. They're finding out. Can't say anything about Santa. He's real.
I'm trying to. I want a big body on my team.
Yeah, I think I need a big boy.
I think PCA could. I think he could fly off those ropes and stuff. He's getting a lot of energy, a lot of speed. You're right. I mean, a big guy. The other thought was maybe Bush. I think Bush would be good, big fella.
I want one of the relievers, a big body.
You need a pitcher because pitchers are just a little crazier too. They're just a little more something's off in there. Like
a Thiel bar, maybe.
I think Shota would be incredibly entertaining.
Wow.
Shota would be an entertainment factory.
That's really good. Say it would be good too. I'm gonna take. You know who I'm gonna go? I'm gonna take Ben Brown, big body. I'm getting on his shoulders.
That's
that's how we're gonna. That's gonna be our signature move. I'm jumping from his shoulders.
I like that. That's a good call. I'm going with Shota. PCA did seem like the obvious one. That's the first name that came to mind. But I was like, I got to go a little deeper cut.
Yeah.
Fair.
Hi, Ian. My name is Dean. I am 10 years old, and you are my favorite baseball player. I even wear number 8 on my Little League team, and I also wear your Bruce Bolt batting gloves. The first time I ever saw the Cubs play in person, you hit a home run in the 9th inning against the Cardinals to put the Cubs up by 1. And the Cubs ended up winning that game. You have been my favorite player ever since. I have 2 questions for you. The first is, do you remember that hit? My second question is, what hit or what moment at the plate has been the favorite of your career so far? Also, congratulations on your 4th Gold Glove. I can't wait to watch you this season.
Big old fluff for number 8 there, where he said that he wears number 8 for IH8. That's got to feel good, Ian.
Feels real good. Whenever I meet a kid and they tell me they're wearing 8, I'm all in. I want a bunch of little kids in the Chicagoland area wearing 8. That was huge fluff. Much appreciated.
Real quick, was that the number you always wanted when you got called up, or was that just kind of what you got?
No, I wore it as a kid in the Little League, and then because I was young for my grade.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my good buddies, when I started playing with my grade at like 12 years old, he was already 8, so I took 15. So I wore 15, and then I wore 1 in high school, 5 in college, both taken when I got to the big leagues. 8 was available, so I went with 8. Best decision I ever made.
Nice.
By the way, before we get to the questions, is it? I mean, it's got to feel pretty cool though, like to hear a kid. I mean, we all grew up loving baseball. I know you've talked about the guys you idolized growing up. Like, it's got to be cool when a kid comes up to you and be like, "You're my favorite player." Like that has to mean something.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, it's like when you have an interaction like that, or someone calls in and says that, like,
what it's all about.
It's really rewarding. I think it's just like you go and play the game and you try to play it, hard in the way that you know how, and like when that resonates with a little kid and like that's their dream, it's such a cool thing.
Ian, do you recall the home run against the Cardinals in the 9th? You hit a lot of them.
Yeah, 9th inning homer where we had I'm remembering some late game homers, but I'm trying to remember one where we actually came back and won, because he said we came back and won the game. So I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research on that and figure out which one that was where we came back and won the Wago.
Yeah, I mean, really, you could just say you've hit so many homers against the Cardinals, they'll just kind of bleed together,
I'm not saying that.
I'll say it. You won't say it. I'll say it.
I second Tom saying
favorite hit or homer of my career, which is a really good question. The playoff homer was obviously a huge highlight.
I just rewatched that the other day. Yeah. I every now and then will go back and watch because it was so electric.
That was a huge highlight. I think the other one that popped into my mind was we were playing the Brewers, and we were getting no hit, and I hit a homer in the 7th or 8th to tie the game, or to go ahead in the game 2-1, and then I hit a homer off Devin Williams in the 10th, and we had 2 hits in the game,
and you won.
They were my 2 homers, and we won.
That's crazy, actually.
That's
pretty sick.
That was pretty crazy.
That's got to be the playoff one is sick, but that's pretty crazy that you had 2 total hits. They were your home runs and you won.
and it was a Devin Williams changeup, and that doesn't usually leave the yard, so that was pretty cool.
It does not.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Hi, my name's Madeline. I'm from the Chicago suburbs, and I actually wanted to share a really short anecdote with you all. I've been listening since the very beginning of the compound. And when the podcast started, I was in high school. And my best friend and I, we enjoyed the show so much that it inspired us to kind of start our own Cubs Talk podcast through our high school newspaper. We've been listening ever since then. And my best friend and I, we both just recently graduated from college with degrees in media-related fields. And right now, we're both starting our first ever kind of big girl jobs in the sports media field. So I just wanted to share that story that you both this show really inspired both of us to pursue a career so that we could, be around baseball because we love the sport, we love the Cubs, and we appreciate the way that your show brings the athletes closer to the fans. So kind of in the spirit of that story, I wanted to ask Ian and Dakota, what is, if you could talk to your 22-year-old self, what is one thing that you would tell yourself? And then to Tom, I also wanted to ask, what is one piece of advice that you have for sports media rookies like my friend and I? But thank you so much. This show really means a lot to me. And my friend and I really appreciate you guys. Thank you.
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was really cool.
Before you answer, I got a couple things. One, wow, we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
People in high school now have full-time jobs. Yes.
Yeah.
Graduated college.
That's crazy, actually.
Jeez, oh man. Second of all, congratulations on the degree and graduating college. And third, that was one of the coolest stories I've ever heard. And the fact that us doing this can have that kind of impact is pretty amazing. So thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Tom,
why don't you go first while we think about our 22-year-old selves?
Yeah, I would say sports is obviously, it's an incredible job to have. Like, I think about so many of the experiences, even getting to do this show with you guys. Like, if you had told me when I was 10, I get to host a show with the Major League Baseball player, like that's a dream come true for me. I think the biggest thing is trying to avoid burnout. It's an industry where you have to sacrifice a lot. You sacrifice nights and weekends and give up a lot of yourself for the job, and there's a lot of pressure to do that. But I think finding a way to try to maintain a work-life balance as best you can, and finding ways to get yourself some time away from sports, I think is important too. Because when you're working in sports and you love sports, you have a tendency maybe to come home and also start consuming all the sports. And I think for me, I've consumed a lot less sports now, having worked in sports at times. And I actually think that's been helpful for me to kind of not burn out and loving baseball or loving sports, because when you're around it 24/7, it's pretty easy to make that the only thing in your life. And it's important to have stuff going on outside of sports as well, I would say.
It's a great answer.
You got a 22-year-old?
I don't know. Like, 22 was when I was 20. No, I don't think I was 20. I was 21 when I got drafted. I'm trying to think back. I mean, like, the only thing I can think of is like the biggest decision I was making at that time is, should I leave in the draft or should I go back to college? And like, the best advice I could give myself is to do the same thing over again and like still take the drafting by the Cubs and like go and play in the Cubs org, because it was like the 7 best years of my life. So like, I don't know. I think I don't have like a ton of regrets. Like, obviously I didn't make it, but I don't think that was for a lack of trying or like working hard. So I don't have like anything different other than to just kind of like enjoy the ride while I was playing a little more. Of like, it was so much fun that just enjoying each and every day I got to play was the best advice I could give myself. But like, I don't know, like I don't have anything crazy to change. Like, hey, like maybe try different slider grips. That's about it. Like maybe figure out a breaking ball sooner. But that's about it. I don't have anything crazy. I'm not a big
But I mean, that's pretty cool that like you're able to look back and not have any regrets, I mean, I think you talk to a lot of former athletes, and especially someone in your circumstances, that like you could be bitter. I mean, like you got so, I mean, you obviously know how close you got and how hard and how much sacrifice you did. But to have no regrets has to be a little freeing in terms of like, I know I did everything I could.
Yeah, I think the only regret I would have had is like if I didn't go play indie ball that one year, honestly, just because I was like, I went and played that year of indie ball kind of as like a last gasp of like, let's see if we still have it. And I didn't really still have it. That would have been the one where I was like, did I quit too early? But I think when I was done, I knew I was done, and I was like, it's not going to work out. So I think that's why I don't really have it. Like, I worked as hard as I could and tried my best, and just wasn't in the cards.
I remember seeing you in Staten Island that year, and I just got the sense, from our quick conversation, that it was like you were in a pretty good headspace of being like, this is probably the last ride, and I feel okay with that. And I think it's cool that you got to have that experience of being like, hey, this is probably the last time I get to wear a baseball jersey, but like I still get to wear a baseball. It's like the thing Ian and I talk about. We love the movie The Rookie. It's like I get to put on another, hey, I get to put on another baseball jersey today. Like, as long as you get to do that, it's still pretty cool.
That's why that last year I would tell like my pitching coach and manager every day, I was like, I'm good to go. I was like, this is it? Like, let's just ride it till the brakes fall off. Like, if I blow out, I blow out. Let's just keep going.
My advice to my 22-year-old self, and it's a little bit more to my 23-year-old self. I'm thinking about my second year in the big leagues, and like during that year, I thought I was having the worst year imaginable. It's just like everything felt like felt like I was struggling the entire time. And Will Venable actually, or no, it was Will. I think Will Venable told me he was like, "You're gonna look back on this and like it's not gonna be as bad as you think." And so my advice is like, don't sweat the short-term negatives. Like in the moment, especially when you're young, in the moment, everything seems horrible, and like when it's bad, it feels like it's the end of the world. And having a little bit of a longer term view, because that year, like I look back, like in May, I was hitting, I had like an 850 OPS in May, and I'm thinking like I'm grinding. And like, yeah, at the end of the year, the numbers didn't look like I wanted them to. But like when I go back and watch video, I'm like, it wasn't that bad the whole time. Like you talked yourself into it being that bad. So yeah, don't sweat the short term negatives, and try to step away from the moment a little bit when things are getting negative and have a longer term view.
Also, for me, I know it's not the same for everybody out there, but like every day you get to work either like as a professional athlete or just in sports, like sports are the best to me. So, like any day you get to work around sports, just enjoy that day because it's so fun. And like for me, it was like the dream job, obviously playing baseball. So, just like enjoying every day that you get to do what it is you do, if it's like revolving around sports or whatever it is you're doing.
I had someone say to me, like, is the thing you're worrying about going to matter in 1 year? And I think that's pretty good advice. Now, obviously, there's circumstances where things will end up mattering a year later, but so many of the times the things we're worried about are like things that you're like, why was I worried about that? Like 6 months later, like that thing didn't matter at all. And it's easy to get caught up in that stuff. And it's a good reminder, especially when you're young. I think because you just don't have as much life experience, things feel catastrophic when they go bad. And then as you get older, you realize, like, oh, that was fine. Like we got through, like I got through that, and I'm still here. So
yeah, that was a really cool story though. That like
was. I'm gonna be thinking about that.
Her and her friend are now in that field. Like that's awesome.
Hey guys, I'm Alicia from South Dakota. I've listened to you since you first started, and you all gathered around one little mic. Fun fact, all my animals are named after the Cubs. I have Wrigley the dog, Ivy the horse, and she just had a baby this last summer, and I named him Happer after the one and only Ian Happ. My question is, what is one bucket list thing or thing you want to accomplish that we wouldn't expect from you guys? I want to get on the Amazing Race or go skydiving one day. Your podcast is something I look forward to every week. Thank you all so much, and I hope you guys continue on for a long time. Thanks, guys. Good luck this season, and go Cubs.
Skydiving is crazy. No, not knocking it, but skydiving is crazy. I will never.
Yeah.
Skydiving terrifies me.
Was that a horse that's named after me?
Yeah,
yes,
it's a baby horse.
Yes. Yes.
That's so funny.
God, that's
awesome. We're going to need, if this whoever just asked that, did they say their name? I'm sorry if they did.
They did.
Apologies. Please tweet us a picture of Happer the horse. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd love to see that horse.
Or send an email to the email.
Yes, compoundmailbag@gmail.com.
Of the picture of the horse.
We would love to see that horse.
That was a bucket list thing that you want to do. That wasn't like you have done. It was like a bucket list thing you want to do.
Yes. Yeah. Like I don't think she's been skydiving, but she aspires to go skydiving.
Okay. Or be on the Amazing Race. All right. Go ahead. You guys got one?
My biggest one, it's not like anything too crazy, but it's just basically like travel throughout like Europe or Asia. Like that's my bucket list, is mostly traveling stuff of like go over there and just do everything possible. Sightsee, hike. I'd try skiing in Switzerland. Why not? I'm in Switzerland. I've never skied before. I'll break a leg in Switzerland. It'd be a good place to do it.
Yeah, it would.
Skiing in Switzerland. That's what I'll say is my answer, because otherwise just traveling is too basic. But I'm going to say skiing in Switzerland, and I've never skied before, so why not?
And that's when you find out you're great at it, and then you all of a sudden make the Swiss
Olympics. Next thing you know, I'm in the Olympics.
Listen, once you get going downhill.
Tom, you got one?
I was thinking about this one because I think it's a great question. I think I'd like to own a business someday. I was just trying to come up with something that I hadn't really thought about. Movie theaters are probably going out of business, so I'm not sure that's a great business to get into.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't start
love
there.
Movie theaters. Yeah, I don't know. There's something about a New York, New Jersey kind of deli that doesn't exist anywhere else in the country. Would love to bring that to another part. Like I miss out here. You can't get a chicken cutlet sandwich. There's just not really anything like it. And I think I'd love to bring that somewhere else. So that's, I don't know, something I've been thinking about.
I got coffee for you if you're
Nice.
deli needs some coffee.
Oh, love that. Of course.
I thought of two. The first one that came to my mind is a little bit bougie, and you guys are going to give me.
I was just gonna say
the
thing is with yours, you can probably do most of the things.
You're going to give me crud.
So it's got to be like crazy for some of them.
Olympic curling is one, and another one is you ever seen the show Below Deck?
Oh, love Below Deck.
You know that show? It's a reality show on the Bravo or one of them, and they take a large vessel, a large boat,
a yacht. Some would
call it a yacht. It's a large boat.
Someone call it a super yacht, I think is the official term.
Some would say that, but they go throughout the Mediterranean for like a week or two on a large vessel. And that's a bucket list thing for me. That'd be pretty cool.
That's not that bad. I didn't know how bougie you were getting. Like that's a cool bucket list one. Like it's not cheap, but it'd be awesome.
Would you like to be the primary, as they call them on Below Deck?
I'd love to be the primary.
You know who did that? Johnny Damon.
Johnny Damon
on
Below Deck.
So
you know it would be a great YouTube for our new YouTube channel.
Good point.
There it is. Bingo.
Good point.
I got the title ready. We were on Below Deck.
A week with the Compound Boys. That would be great. Dak might come back for that.
100% he would.
He'd be trying to come back. I don't know if he's allowed back.
Ian, I think you'd agree. A lot of my like bucket list stuff is like golf related. Of like go play golf in like Scotland.
Yeah,
like
Augusta would be an unbelievable.
Augusta would be on there. Like those are a lot of the things where they're like
Augusta's probably number one, right? Because that's like the one that's so hard to get. Everything else feels like it's at least hypothetically possible.
Augusta's also just like unattainable. Like you can't go. Like they'll not let like Tiger play there on like a Tuesday. It's like, sorry man, you can't. Like
I
don't care.
I did play golf on the off day yesterday with a guy who was talking about his round at Augusta, but not like in a boastful way, just in like when you go play Augusta. And I was like, it's like, oh. It's like, when you go play Augusta, like you just think like every shot you've seen before on TV. And I was like, how many times have you played Augusta, my friend?
You also
That's
golf
the thing, is like the first time you'd play Augusta, I feel like you'd just be so overwhelmed. Like the fact that you'd start like thinking through that stuff, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd just be like, oh my God, it's Rays Creek.
That was me when I played TPC Sawgrass, of like every shot. Like we would just talk about it, like the guys I was playing with, of like, oh yeah, like remember this, remember that. And like it was really cool. It is fun.
Bucket list.
That's up there. Can you guarantee me right now?
Hap or the horse. That's our next. I think we want to see Hap or the horse.
Yes.
Ian, I'd like you to promise me right now that if you're able to get on Augusta, you have to invite me.
I can't promise you that.
Promise.
Because if I get invited, what am I going to say? Well, I can only come if I can invite my other friend.
Well, guess what, bud? When I get invited, you're not invited. Boom. See ya.
I would never ask you to do that. I would never say.
Scott, Zach. Boom. See ya, Ian. Cut.
Where's the member?
Don't worry about it. Scotty F. Frost can sweet talk anyone. He'll get us out there.
Fivesome? You're playing a 5-ball at Augusta?
It's
You're like,
Scott.
oh yeah, it's me and 3 friends, so we're gonna have to play a 5-ball.
What are they gonna do? Say no? It'll be fine.
Famously, Augusta loves to bend the rules. So
they do.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
They do. That's right.
By the way, I should tease. We have a mailbag from the email coming up next. But Scott's coming up. Scott's voicemail is just has to be listened to be heard. It's just I when I heard it, I was like, this is truly the most Scott of all time.
over under 3 minutes.
I cannot say. We'll have to wait till it comes up. All right, here comes this next question. This is from Timothy Evans. He said, happy 300th episode, relatively new listener. First listen was Tom revealing to the group he'd shaved his head and was so electric that I've stuck around. My question is, Chicago has a pretty big rec softball culture. And then he put this in bold. How serious should people take it? Most of my friends play collegiate baseball, and again, this is in bold, used to invite me as a last-minute sub. Although I was a college athlete, I did not play baseball and admittedly not very good. After an infamous E2, tried to get an advancing runner, threw it into center field, let 2 runs scored. I've never been asked back. I've also witnessed arguments nearly come to blows during the very low-stakes co-ed games. Is any of this justified? Also, has Dakota turned out for any men's softball league teams yet? Thanks for the entertainment, Tim.
Ian, were you laughing at me trying to not be blurry?
Yes, Dakota's trying to make himself clear his picture up, and his face is into the camera, out of the camera, into the camera, out of the camera. It was really hard for me.
It's
to keep
how you
together during that.
refocus it. You guys taught me that.
I'm sorry. It was hard for me to stay together. Okay.
Back to the question. I have not played men's softball. I have been asked numerous times by a couple different people. And I'll be honest, I just have no interest. I would like to go play the outfield. I don't really care about hitting. I never liked hitting. I've said this before. Never liked hitting. Was never good at it. I don't even want to hit in men's league softball. Because then they'd be like, oh, didn't this guy used to play baseball? And then I'm going to like swing and miss because I'm not a good hitter.
Yeah.
But I can track it down out there in the outfield.
Yeah,
the timing's also very different. I played like once in like a one of the teams I worked for had a staff game. And I'm not gonna lie to you, the first time I went up there, and I feel like I'm not gonna say I'm great at baseball. Obviously, compared to everyone here on the podcast, certainly not great. But I feel like I'm okay. First time I went up there, 3 hacks and went down swinging because the timing is so different.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was gonna leave, and then I was like, well, now I can't leave now. I have to get a second at bat.
Yeah.
So I did get a second at bat, and it went a little better. We played the marquee softball game this year at Wrigley. I had a few hits. I did okay. But I do feel like, especially in Chicago, I have my buddy Mike Morrow, who plays. They take it very seriously, to the point where it seems like it's too serious. I feel like if your friends stop inviting you over one error, they might not be your friends. I don't know. They're taking it too seriously.
The only thing I will say is if I were to do it, I would want it to be that serious, though. I'm just too competitive by nature to where, like, I can't do, like, the lollygag around, like, oh, we're just having fun. Like, I dropped it, but it's fun. I'm like, no, they scored because you dropped it. You suck. Go sit on the bench. You're out. That's how I would play. I'm sorry. That's how
I think I'd be the same way. I think I'd be coaching third base. I'd be like way into it.
Giving signs.
I was the kid at recess who would coach third base during dodgeball to make sure that like we were running into stupid outs. You know what I mean?
You're like, Mary, get over here. On the bag, Mary.
Yeah. I'm like, get nope. Tag up.
If they ran through a stop sign, did you give them an earful?
No, they're benched.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. If you make one error, we'd like to see you back. We'd like to see you participate again. But maybe it was the all-star team. Maybe they couldn't afford any errors, that game. It feels a little harsh to me though.
But you know what? If you made that error and then you laughed and you thought it was funny, I'm benching you too. Because that's a big thing that me and my buddies do of like, if you're watching like whatever, like football game, receiver like drops a pass or cornerback drops a pick and they just like start laughing. It's like, oh, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. You dropped the ball. That's funny. You like losing. It's funny. Like, I got no time for that. I'm too competitive. Like, I want to win everything I do.
I will say I am too competitive too, because even though I just espouse my philosophy of not taking it that seriously, during the marquee softball game, did I dive for a ball unnecessarily and then bruise my ribs? Could not sleep for a month because I couldn't sleep on my side anymore. I had to learn how to sleep on my back because I bruised my ribs. Yeah. But, did I make the play?
I love that.
Also, no. So it wasn't worth it in the end.
See, but I love that, Tom. I love that out of you.
At least I could say I got hurt diving at Wrigley Field. That's the only thing I got going for me.
Real quick, we can keep this in 100%. Does Team USA need to win this game to advance?
No.
They're down 5-0 Italy.
No.
So
what's the score right now?
5-0. Top of the 4th.
All right. Blowing out might be a little.
It's a wake-up call. Our offense needs to wake up. Sorry for that quick intermission. Next question.
Hey, congrats, boys. This is Jake Storielli, Cowboy Media, Celebrity All-Star Home Run in the softball game, and the 42nd highest-rated episode ever of The Compound for Jackie and Mariano. I just want to check with you guys. I know there's been a lot throughout the years, a lot of Rizzo, our guy Zach Short. These guys kind of progressed and they went on to become Yankees. So I guess I'm just checking if Dakota and Ian maybe had any interest in joining the Yankees organization. Congrats, fellas. Excited to see you here. A big media market, too, for you guys' show. Bye.
That was incredible. I love how he had the ranked episode.
I will say this. He texted me before and he was like, give me the ranking of that episode. And I was like, at least top 250. And he was like, I need a number. So I gave him number 42 for Mariano. I figured he'd appreciate that.
I was going to say, do we have rankings?
No.
There are. You could go deep into the archives and find, but we've had so many different platforms now between them. I don't know if you could see the pure listener data, but that is, I was really hoping that he actually found that and he actually was the 42nd ranked episode because that was hilarious.
That would be awesome. To his question, I mean, I grew up a Yankees fan. I doubt he knows that, but I grew up a Yankees fan. I always dreamed of being a New York Yankee. I would, in a heartbeat, have been a Yankee. And I would have, and you know what my first rule would be, Tom? First rule, reinstate the no beards, no facial hair. Boom. That's what I want. And you know what else?
I was a little insulted that he didn't mention that I out of everyone on the show,
were.
I was a Yankee.
You were a Yankee.
I'm the only person who was a Yankee who was on the show.
And I
So
know
I've already done it. I'm good. I had enough of that experience. Thanks.
I've said it on here before as well. I hope IHA never leaves the Cubs. I want him to only be a Cub for life. I think all of our listeners would agree. But if he were to leave, I would love to see him wear the pinstripes. But I do not want him to leave the Cubs ever. That dead serious, especially because Chicago's way closer to me than New York. Don't ever leave, but if you do, to be a Yankee.
Do you know what Talking Jake doesn't realize here is that he would have a lot of podcast competition. I'd be, you know, he'd be shaking in his boots. Couple of Yankee spots. He'd be worried.
We'd be stealing all the fans.
Oh, yeah.
The guys going on Talking Yanks? No, not anymore. Ian sets a new rule in the clubhouse. No one's allowed on Talking Yanks. Only the compound.
Only the compound.
The weekly thing with Boone canceled. Sorry. Not the way we're doing it. Ian's a Yankee. So he might not want you to be
contract. He's like, I'll sign to be a Yankee. Actually, I'll work for free. The only rule is Aaron Boone can't go on John Boy Media anymore.
Yeah.
See?
I just walk in his office with a microphone. I'm like, here, we're doing it now.
I don't think Jake wants you to be a Yankee anymore after these stipulations.
I don't think so either. I talked him out of it.
All right, next question.
Hey guys, this is Jacob from Virginia. Wanted to see who your favorite obscure baseball player was from when you were growing up. Love the show. Keep it up.
I'll do a couple since you guys need some time to think.
Great question.
I'll rip through a couple.
Yeah.
Miguel Cairo. Love Miguel.
Don't steal
Cairo
too many
as a
Yankees.
Yankee.
Don't steal too many Yankees from me. That's all I got.
Aaron Small, great Yankee. Shelley Duncan, great Yankee. Just gonna start ripping through Yankees. I mean, that's
Don't you not do?
I
love Flash Gordon.
Please don't do that.
Flash Gordon. I love Tom Gordon.
Early Melky Cabrera. Love some Melky.
Oh, I did love early Melky was so cool.
Him and Cano, just like best friends. Loved it.
I loved Cano rivaled Jeter for me because I just thought Cano was so much swag and just so smooth. And I was like, man, this guy's good at baseball.
Yeah. I mean, that's not obscure.
Smooth.
That's not what, Ian?
It's not yes for obscure.
No, you just
Robinson Cano, not obscure.
Tom mentioned Cano, and I was like, yeah, I loved Cano. I was just adding on. Hey, 300th episode.
Sorry, that's my fault.
Easy.
It's my fault.
Easy. I gotta look some up now because there's some that are just escaping my mind. I also, I didn't like the Tigers though, so I didn't really have any that I enjoyed.
Here's a good one from the Tigers. I mean, maybe not that obscure, but older now. Brandon Inge. I love Brandon Inge from the Tigers.
Played every position.
Yeah.
Can I give you a couple here?
Yeah, roll through some Pirates for us.
I got a Pirate on my list. Do you remember Andres Galarraga?
Of course.
Andres Galarraga was 40 years old, and he still had unbelievable contact numbers in MLB The Show. He was a great pickup in MLB The Show if you were doing the fantasy draft. Andres Galarraga. Freddie Sanchez. Unbelievable Pittsburgh Pirate. Grady Sizemore was a big one for me. Grady Sizemore. Travis Hafner.
Hold on. You were getting on us for obscure. I don't know if Grady Sizemore and Travis.
I think,
those are great players.
I think they were on the Hall of Fame ballot.
I think if you asked a young player on our team you asked Matt Shaw about Grady Sizemore's career, he would have no idea.
Fair. Probably fair. I got
Great
one for
player,
you.
Grady Sizemore.
I got one for you. That's kind of in the same Grady Sizemore thing because I remember from Backyard Baseball, Kenny Lofton. I loved Kenny Lofton. Also not very obscure.
Like a 60 WAR player, but yeah. Nope.
Don't even. Okay.
No,
now, you know
my
what?
Fault. My fault.
Travis Hafner WAR. Let's find out. You're throwing obscure ones at me. Save it.
Dakota, I got a couple more Yankees for you. Francisco Cervelli. Love Cervelli.
Yes. Loved. Pirate as well.
Managed Team Italy.
Yeah. How about a Pirate for you? Ryan Domit, because he was the only guy I've ever seen catcher outfield eligible in fantasy baseball. Just incredible. Very rare combination of positions.
Lastings Millage from the Pirates. He would give the outs like this.
Too. That's a good one too.
2 outs.
Edney Chavez obviously became famous for that catch he had, but I was always an Edney Chavez guy. Loved him. One more, I worked with him, and this is not an obscure guy because he was a great player, but working with Cliff Floyd at Marquee was one of the joys of my life. Just an awesome dude and had so many. When you said Lastings Millage, you reminded me of those mid-2000 Mets teams, and he had so many great stories from those.
Ooh, I got a good one. Nick Swisher. That's a good one.
Great.
That's a little obscure. That's a little obscure.
The baseball field at Ohio State's named after him. I don't know how obscure he is.
Since when? Since I played there. I'm just kidding. I knew that.
I was an Indians fan growing up. This is not obscure, but Victor Martinez, but Ronnie Belliard and Coco Crisp.
Coco Crisp.
I can't give you Coco Crisp as obscure.
I'm looking up.
This is insanity.
I'm looking up Ronnie Belliard, 2005, 4.5 win season.
If this isn't obscure, none of us are friends anymore. Chien-Ming Wang.
Chien-Ming Wang.
I mean, Chien-Ming Wang was the ace of the Yankees. He was great.
No, he was not.
Yes, what do you mean he was not? He wasn't the ace or he wasn't great? What?
Wasn't the ace.
Get me fired up.
Wasn't the ace.
He was the ace. What are you talking about? When he blew out his leg in Houston, I'm still one of the most sad days of my life running the bases. Should never been running the bases.
That was crazy. I remember that. I was watching that game. That is a sad day. I mean, we could do this.
JJ Hardy,
that's a good one.
Guy I love.
Baltimore Oriole.
This is really just turned into guys naming baseball players, which is just our favorite thing to do.
Yeah, and we could do a whole episode on this. Travis Hafner, 24.8 career WAR.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Yankees, right? Last year was a Yankee.
I'm thinking of some, and now I'm like, you guys are gonna be like, well, that's not very obscure. You guys are bullies. I'm getting bullied. I'm not.
Name one more. Name one more. Leave us on. No, we won't say anything. We're gonna move on. We're gonna play a question.
No, because the only other one I want to say is not obscure at all.
Derek
Everyone
Jeter.
knows this person. No, it's gonna be Jabba Chamberlain.
I love Jabba Chamberlain though.
Yeah,
like the first year of Jabba Chamberlain when he had the Jabba rules and they wouldn't pitch him in back-to-back days. I remember one time they were in LA and they were like, well, technically it's a new day on the East Coast. The Jabba rules say he can't pitch in back-to-back days, but now it's a new day. Could he pitch?
Yeah.
What's your WAR cutoff for obscure player? Do you have like a WAR cutoff where if they have X amount of WAR, they're not obscure anymore?
No, I think it's just more like household name, like your average baseball fan. Like if you said Coco Crisp, I feel like a lot of people have heard of Coco
28
Crisp.
career WAR. That surprised me. That's a great career, man.
Yeah, he's a good player. We need to move off this because we can name names for 10 hours.
Well, have you guys ever seen the grid? My dad loves to play the grid.
Yeah.
And that's a big and it's interesting because he can pull out guys that are now obscure, but are like relatively common names from the 70s and 80s. But those are like when you're trying to get the rarity. He and I will do it together sometimes when we're together, and he'll be like, I got a good Indian twin, and it's some guy I've never heard of from like 1977, and then it's like 0.001. And then you look it up, the guy had like 20 WAR, but like so I think that's where it's like as you go through time, guys just unfortunately get a little more obscure.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of my dad, here we go.
Hi, this is Steve from Boston Spa, New York, Tom's dad, a very loyal listener. Congratulations, guys, on 300. That's a great number in many areas, and continued success. My question is, you two players just missed the portal and NIL money by a few years. Would that have been something that you would have been interested in while in college? Would you have tested the portal or looked for some NIL money? Keep up the good work, and let's do 300 more.
Love that. He's a top 10 fan. 100%.
100%.
We don't want to ask about how many times he called in. That might have been attempt number 3 or 4, but that's, it's fine.
I love that even more.
We had a couple people, and I thought about putting people on blast, but I decided not to do that to our listeners. But there were a number of people who called in and then be like, I'm starting over again. There was one person who said, I'm going to see how long it takes to start this over again. They were on the phone for 2 minutes just waiting for it to restart. Not how phone calls work. Not how answering machines work.
That's insane.
Dakota.
Yes, sir.
If you had played in the NIL world,
Mm-hmm.
do you think you would have left Michigan State?
No chance. I was thinking of that. There's no way I would have left MSU, but I definitely would have went back to school. If I could have gotten NIL money to go back to school, I 100% would have went back, because I was already very on the fence the year I was drafted of I wanted to go back really bad, and I had a number in my head for a signing bonus that needed to be met, or I was very happy to go back to school. But I don't think I ever would have even considered the portal. I don't know how people do it, moving that much, to just different states and meeting all new people. I don't have interest in that. I don't know. But the NIL, yeah, that would have got me there a few more years.
I think it would have really changed my college experience. I'm very grateful to have gone to Cincinnati and for the experiences I had. Realistically, after my freshman year, I went to the Cape, was an all-star on the Cape, and our coaching staff left. So the coaches
I was
that
going to say to
recruited
you,
me,
that's the biggest thing about yours, right? I mean, you had a coaching staff change, which is the number one reason guys end up transferring.
yeah, if the coaching staff would have stayed, I don't think I would have left. Would probably have considered it, but I don't think I would have left. But the coaching staff changing at the same time where I had a great freshman year, I would have left. I'm almost positive that with all of that change, it would have been an opportunity that I couldn't have passed on. And unfortunately, with what happened with the coaching staff before my junior year, I 100% would have left.
That's crazy. See, mine was more, I love my pitching coach, but I think even if the whole staff was gone, I wanted to go back more so because it was all of my best friends were still there for more years. So I was I want to come back and hang out with these guys and play baseball with them. So for me, it wasn't as much a staff as more the teammates and friendship.
Yeah, I had an unbelievable group of guys that we all lived together, and they were some of my best friends, and that would have been really tough, but it would have totally changed my college experience. But yeah, just with the coaching staff that came in and things that happened, I wouldn't have stayed.
Do you think? Maybe do you end up in Austin earlier? You go at UT? Where do you think you? I mean, obviously, it's tough to speculate.
I have no idea. But
because obviously the schools that were recruiting you coming out of high school have been much different after, especially your summer on the Cape. I'm imagining a whole different kind of caliber of school had been coming.
I'm just the teams that were really where Bregman at LSU, that team was unbelievable. Vandy was unbelievable then. I don't know where I would have been a fit, or it's so interesting to think about, because at the time, I'd played a lot of second base my freshman year. I would have considered myself a second baseman. And if there was a team that was willing to let me play second every day, I would have done that, because I ended up playing outfield for the Cincinnati Bearcats, who won 18 games my junior year. I'm playing right field for the 18-win Cincinnati Bearcats, trying to convince pro teams that I can play middle infield. What?
That's crazy.
Crazy. We had a freshman playing shortstop and a freshman playing center field.
I would have been a Spartan for life. Never would have went anywhere else.
All right. We've teased it. Here comes Scott Efros out of the bullpen.
Hello, Compound fans, Ian, Dakota, and Tom. This is Scott Efros.
Why are you talking? Why are you talking like that?
Why? I don't know. I'm just introducing us. Say your name.
Former host of the Compound podcast, Zach Short.
We are coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. Tom, first gripe, the voicemail says 200th episode. I'm going to need you to update that, because 300 is a big number. 300 gets you the Hall of Fame, speaking baseball terms. So what an accomplishment. I think, combined between me and Zach, we've been on how many episodes?
I don't know. I think I've been on a few more than you.
It's combined world championships, LeBron and Eric Snow. But congrats, fellas. A lot of hard work goes into recording the podcast every week, creating topics, fun things to listen to. I can't tell you how many times I've been stopped by fans of the podcast saying that they listen weekly. You guys do an incredible job. Very happy to be a small part of it along the way. Zach, any words you want to pass along?
No. Besides that, I mean, it's still awesome that you guys are still going strong. Ian and Dakota, I know for a fact that, I don't know for a fact, but close to a fact, I don't know that we/you guys envisioned this going on for this long. Especially, we've had an intern. We've had Tom now for a few years now. Glue. And Parche Rum has been there since day one, still there. And it's been great to see that you guys are still going at it strong. I do have a question. It's kind of just a low-hanging fruit question, but figured we'd mix one in. Outside of chopping it up with the boys every week, once a week, is there a constant thing that you look forward to when you guys record? When Tom sends a text, what time this week, guys? What is that part that you're looking for? It doesn't have to be big. Just curious if there's a topic or, I don't know, something specific that you guys enjoy talking about, whether it's together or individually. I'd be curious to know. So again, congrats on 300, even though Tom thinks it's 200, and that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. We're not counting.
No.
But it is 300. But yeah.
Literally, technically counting.
Yeah.
Also, thank you to Ian for agreeing to buy Dakota a flight down here to Tampa to hang out with us. That is great by you. You're such a great friend.
And you'll notice it gets cut off because we found out this is the first and only one. There's a 3-minute cutoff on the voicemail, so they went over 3 minutes and it stopped right there. Don't worry though, they called back, so we still have more voicemail.
Oh my God.
Over 3. I'll take the over.
3.
Hey, Scott and Zach here again. I think the time ran out, so we put another quarter in the machine. Again, it's 300, Tom, not 200. But yeah, we got cut off there. Just congratulations, fellas. Here's to 300 more. Looking forward to listening to this one, and we'll hang up and listen live.
Parse.
Rum.
Another quarter in the machine was so good from Scott.
I think my favorite part of that entire phone call was when Scott turned it over to Zach and said, "Do you have anything you want to say?" And he said, "Nope." And then he started talking.
It went exactly how you thought it would go. Of Scott was like running it, just like being the talker, and Zach sitting there, probably also on his phone at the same time, being like, "Shut up, like stop making me do this." Like more so annoyed, if anything. And that was perfect. That was a microcosm of our relationship with them.
I should clarify what they're talking about. That the voicemail, it says 200 episodes because it's just from the first time I recorded the intro to the mailbag, and I've never re-recorded the intro because I assume people understand that it's the compound mailbag. But they were very focused on that part of the voicemail. That was about half the voicemail was just talking about whether or not it was 200 300 episodes.
Oh man, that was so good.
Zach did over 200 episodes with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was also funny when Zach said, I know for a fact. Well, actually not a fact. Maybe a fact. It could be a fact. I was like, what is going on here?
Just the most out of control voicemail. He did ask a question. He did say, "What do you guys look forward to?" Because I do send a text every week, like, "What time are we thinking about this week?" Usually Saturdays or Sundays to get ready for this week's show.
Mine, Tom's going to hate this. Ian will probably hate it too. Mine is any chance I get to bring up something outside of baseball. Trying to sprinkle in a little football when it's football season, or sprinkle in a little golf when I can, and try to get us off the rails. I love getting off the rails, and that's my favorite thing to do. Now it's Tom and I going off the rails, if anything, because Ian's never really an off the rails kind of guy. It used to be Zach and I. Now I got to get Tom kind of in the weeds with me of off the rails.
Yeah,
and that's harder.
It's harder to do because you're the producer, like you're in control, and you're like, no, we can't do this. I'm like, when I had Zach, we could talk about anything.
I think the one thing that I look forward to is when we get at the beginning of the off season and we start to talk about players and where they might move, and talking about roster construction and how a player fits in a certain place. think that's one of my favorite things, and we're in that type of time of the year and can chop it about that.
Yeah.
All right, we've reached our last question. Dakota, I said this to Ian before he got on. You won't be surprised. He promised 2 guests, Ian. We won't say who they were. Neither of them called in. But
Nico didn't call?
Nico did not call.
Oh, I'll call him out by name. That's crazy. That's an ex-host. That's crazy.
I ghost wrote Nico a question too. We got a text over the weekend, was like, could we come up with a question for Nico? I wrote Nico a question to ask us, and he still didn't ask it.
The other one we'll keep anonymous that didn't call in, but let's just say it wasn't surprising they didn't. I didn't think they would. But Nico hurts. That hurts as an original host. That hurts a lot. And I want you to tell him tomorrow, Ian, that hurt.
Both people said they would be honored to call in. Mm-hmm. And Nico multiple times did say, "Oh, I forgot to call in." I'm like, "You can still do it. It's cool." And I think he forgot maybe 3 times. So it's all right.
To be fair, Scott and Zach forgot until I texted them Sunday night, and they're like, "Oh no!" And I'm like, "You got till Tuesday." And then 10 minutes later, Tom had 2 voicemails from them.
Because I had texted them, and then I was like, "That's kind of all I feel. I'm not going to double text them over doing this." So I'm glad you followed up on that.
Well, Scott would for sure have no problem with it. Zach's a little stingier sometimes if you kind of got to work him, but Scott was always going to call. There's no doubt.
Yep.
All right, so don't worry. I got us a good closer. Shout out to this person for calling today. They called this afternoon.
Hi guys, it's Jewel. I just wanted to call in and say congrats on reaching 300 episodes. That is such an incredible milestone, and I definitely know firsthand how much time and effort each of you have put into making this happen. The dedication, the consistency you guys bring every week certainly does not go unnoticed, and I'm just so proud of you guys. It's funny, I was reflecting today before calling in, and I still remember when this was just a fun idea that you guys were excited about, obviously not really knowing where it might go. And seeing what it's grown into has been so incredible. You guys really have created something that I believe genuinely brings so many people joy every week, and it's something that so many listeners look forward to, which is so cool. It's just been really special to watch you guys turn an idea into something that's built a really awesome community. So here's the 300 episodes and many more to come. My question is, if you could go back to before episode 1 and give yourself one piece of advice, knowing what you know now, what would it be?
Two things. First of all, that's the first lady of the Compound Podcast, Mrs. Happ. Ian's wife, not his mom. Second thing, the funniest part about her calling in is she has listened to 0 minutes of the Compound Podcast. 0.
She won't be listening to this. That's better. Okay.
No, and that's why it's even better.
She's talking about seeing it firsthand. She's talking about watching me go into an office to do the podcast, not actually listening or
her occasionally coming in
come in and poke her head and
Yeah.
talk to us after we record for a few minutes.
She did. She left me a very nice note congratulating us on 300.
Wow.
And made me a bowl of, which are all gone now, peanut butter pretzels and chocolate covered pretzels, which was very
Wow.
nice. She set
Lucky
me up.
guy.
She set me up good.
I would say you got to lock her up, but you already did.
Already did.
Nice. That's hilarious. Did you tell her to call in or did she just do it?
No, I last night when I was walking around, I was like, we need a closer. And I was like, who could I pull out the bullpen? And I was like, Julie might do it. So I just sent her a message and I was like, hey, I'm sorry it's last minute. Would you be willing to call in? And of course, she's the best. She was like, of course. And then called in this afternoon. So great call. Was very appreciative to have her do it.
That's awesome. Love that.
What was your question? It was if you could go back to before episode 1, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah.
Yes, advice to yourself before episode 1. We've already made it clear Dakota's would be to get a better slider.
Well, no, I know mine for podcasting because I'm someone personally, I think most people are this way. I hate hearing my own voice, which is funny because I talk a lot and I'm loud. Shocker. But I hate hearing my own voice. And I remember when we first started recording, like the first 20 episodes, and I heard one back and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm screaming into the microphone. I was like, why don't you guys tell me to shut up? So that would be my biggest thing, is try to stay a little calmer, a little under control. I'm probably still very loud on here, but I'm trying to be under control, calm, smooth, zen. So that's my advice.
I think my advice before episode 1 would have been just get 4 microphones.
I think your other advice, Ian, would be find a producer to edit the pod.
Yeah, I would have found Tom earlier.
Yes.
Yeah, we've learned a lot along the way. I think especially in the first year, in the first 50 episodes, we probably learned just between editing it and then who was hosting the podcast and then who we were working with, and then eventually, tech. Learned a lot in the first year.
Well, especially because in the first year, like, not even just because we had one microphone, but like because we were all in the same room of like we'd interview someone and we'd have to like raise our hand if like we were going to ask the next question because it'd be 4 of us trying to talk. So like you said, like we learned like the tricks of the trade of that, but it was hilarious that we'd record an episode and then you'd spend like 3 hours editing it just on your own.
GarageBand.
Yeah.
GarageBand. I didn't know that. Oof. That makes me upset.
Yeah, that was the best I had. That was all I got.
It was a grind.
You could afford an Adobe license. I mean,
I didn't even know I didn't know Adobe was a platform you could use.
Fair. I just remember when I got hired at John Boy, they said to me, one of the main responsibilities was I was going to be doing your guys' podcast. And I, to be 100% honest, had obviously never listened, was not familiar with you guys really at all.
What?
And
Tom,
I just have to be honest. But hold on, this is why you gotta let me finish the story. Yes. It ends up nice.
Correct. Hand up.
So I was nervous because obviously when you don't know a show, you're like, I hope I like these people. I hope it's going to be a good show to work on. Obviously, I've worked a lot of professional athletes and I've had a whole range of experiences working with them. You never know what to expect. And I remember just driving around after I got hired and feeling like the nervousness of a new job. And then I just put on the show and I thought I was going to listen to one episode. And I listened to like 7 episodes in a row. And I was like, I love these guys. And I was just so excited to do the show. And I think we've talked about like the first time I met Dakota and Ian Zach was the day that Ian got hurt in Cincinnati. And then we all had to scramble to figure out how to record an episode. And you guys thought my name was David Mendelson because that was what it said on the Zoom. You're like, is your name Tom or David Mendelson? And I was like, been producing the show for like 3 months now. I would hope you know my name.
It was at least a month before we were positive of what your name was. We thought it might have been like David Tom, and you went by Tom, but your real name is David.
Yes. I was very unsure.
We've come a long way from that. And I think like getting to do the live shows and like thinking about where it started for you guys, like our 4 people around a microphone. And like, we had Ryan Sandberg on the stage in Wrigleyville, with 500 people in the audience. And last year we had PCA and, 600 people in the audience, and all the people that come up to us, and even just getting to go through all the voicemails today and like hearing people and thank you to everyone who called in. As I said, really some tough cuts. There were so many great calls, but just like hearing people talk about like, oh, I listened to it on the way to work, or, I listened, you're part of my life. And it's just very meaningful that we can do something that hopefully makes even just a little bit of an impact. And I'm really appreciative of both of you guys for, as one caller mentioned, Zach left, and I've kind of taken on a little bit more of a responsibility as a host as well. And I've appreciated you guys giving me the space to do that. And I love working with you both. And I'm just so appreciative of this opportunity and continuing to do the show for, for me, 250 episodes roughly, but for you guys, 300 episodes, which is just awesome.
Hell yeah, Tom. I would say you are probably the best addition possible of like you made definitely Ian's life a billion times easier in terms of like the editing and all that. But yeah, like outside of that, even just like being our producer and coming with topics every week. And like you said, of Zach left and you kind of stepping up into a bigger role of like talking more, I guess, because back like when we had Zach, it's like, well, there's 4 of us. That's just a lot of people talking. So it's been very cool to see, and we've loved having you, obviously, and made our lives 10 times easier and 10 times better since you've came on. So we are very lucky to have you.
We got really lucky to be given a producer and to have it turn out to be not only a
David Tom Mendelson
show, but a friendship, and we appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I would like to say to both of you, thank you for all the work, and thank you for finding time every week. And I know that my schedule is the worst one to deal with now, so thank you for working around my stuff and making this happen. Dakota, 300 together. It's been Been a fun ride and pretty awesome. Thank you to the listeners for listening, and these voicemails really do mean a lot to us. And we did the questionnaire earlier in the year and got all that feedback, which was amazing to hear. We do stuff like this where we have voicemails. We do the live shows where we get to meet people in person. Like, we would not be doing this if you guys weren't listening and there wasn't an impact. And so thank you for sticking with us for 300 and for continuing to listen.
Who would have thought in 2019 when I annoyed you into being my friend that you'd be stuck with me for 300 episodes of a podcast, Dream
Should
come
thank
true.
Eric Castillo for taking my room.
We can't
don't
start this.
do
like
this.
Hour,
Don't do
hour.
this.
We're going to go on for another hour if we do this.
Don't do this.
Wait, before we get off this topic, I don't know if the listeners know that Eric Castillo is now, he is the bullpen catcher for the Chicago Cubs. Like, he's on the Chicago Cubs staff as the bullpen catcher, who is the one that stole my room because, well, he didn't steal my room. Dakota never offered it to me. He only offered it to Eric. So it wasn't Eric's fault because Eric was just asked if he would like to live somewhere and said yes. And if someone else would have been asked to live there, he probably also would have said yes. But, Casty is our bullpen catcher. So,
do we need to have a trial
like
where we bring him up as like a witness and like he gives like a statement?
No, because if anything, that would be almost insulting to him of like, oh, you asked people before me and then they said no. Like Ian said no if I'm good in the hotel. He's like, I won't be here long. I'm going back to the show. So why would I move in with you? That was his actual response. We'll bring Zach in for trial. We can do that at any moment because he was there because we asked him.
Do you think we should do the trial on if Zach dapped us up before we left after that?
Yes, because he'll also lie about that.
Yeah, you're right. He'll also lie. It'll be 2 lies.
No,
we'll catch him in 2 lies.
I slipped up on my words. Tom, cut the part where I said also. Keep everything else.
Should we give the people a 300th episode screen time?
It's
Sloan, the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems at the forefront of the green building movement. Sloan Park, got a couple more weeks to come to Sloan Park and see the Wagos, and the Yanks are coming in at the end of camp to old Sloan Park. What are your screen times?
See, this is where I don't always trust screen time because it shows me mine's 7:16, but it shows I had an hour and 20 of camera.
That sounds right.
When would I be on my camera for an hour and 20 straight minutes? That's insane.
That feels like you left it open in your pocket, maybe.
Yeah, that's either way. I guess it is what it is. 7:16.
Mine's 9 hours even, but I did have to listen to all the voice.
You're working.
Respect.
259 for me. 250. I was almost 300. I should have just left it on for a minute. No, 3 even. 259.
That would have been nice.
That would have been real nice. 259.
Or you could have just lied and then not sent it to Tom until I could have
just left it. Dang it.
But it's okay. We don't lie to the people.
I'm honest, Dave.
We don't lie to the people. We would never lie.
Nah. That's a big 300th episode. Let's remember, though, parserum.com. We're going to go to parserum.com. We're going to use code COMPOUND. You're going to get $10 off, 8-year, 12-year, 2 bottles, free shipping, code COMPOUND, parserum.com. Go buy a bottle and like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe to the YouTube channel, Compound Pod YouTube channel. Go check it out. Watch this on YouTube. Just put it on in the background. You don't even if you already listen, just put it on your computer, put it on the background, let it run.
And you know what? Leave us some ideas for other content you want to see us do. You want to see Dakota do the 9-9 challenge, whatever you want.
Real quick on the 999 challenge. I know we're wrapping up here. I had someone tweet at me and say they did the 999 challenge in 5 innings. You're lying. I forget the person's name. It is a flat out lie. I will pay to watch that. Because first of all, it's a 999 challenge. You can't do it in 5 innings. Because one of the 9s is 9 innings.
Be with us. They should be the third person in the video. If they can do it in 5 innings, that would be content in its own.
If they do 9 dogs and 9 beers in 5 innings, I'll buy all of them. That's my offer.
With Happ's credit card, right? With the boss's credit card.
We're expensing it, of course. Come on, Tom. You didn't have to tell the people that. Come on.
That is episode 300 of the Compound Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.